And here we go. Did you download the battle rules?
Are they different than the last one I downloaded?
Yes.
7. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, what are we looking at? Gudra, Corviknight, Incineroar, Aurora's Froslass, Dragalge, versus Alolan Raichu, Azumarill, Raboot, Dubwool, Cinccino, and Espeon.
Cuties.
She did pick a lot of her team just because they're cute.
I respect that tactic. I too like to pick names for similar reasons.
That was some of the song by people. This is cool because these are my next two teams.
Oh, you fight these two next?
In a row.
Oh, wow. Do you play Cinderaces and then
Trubbish, then
Trubbish?
Cinder.
Oh, okay, other way.
I didn't realize they were fighting this week, though. That's neat.
It's part of the reason we're recording all these, so, you know, you can look back on these later and learn, prep for your match. All right, game 1. Raichu and Dubwool. I really do like that shiny Dubwool. That's a really nice inverted color. Opening up against Incineroar and Gudra. Fun fact, out of all of the teams in this winter draft, the Cincinnati Cinderaces and the Trubbish Rubbish are 2 of only 4 teams to actually keep their names. Everyone else either changed their name or is a newcomer.
I mean, I had to change my name. My favorite Pokemon.
Oh, and Dubwool
existence-
switches out.
My favorite Pokemon in
Prefer
existence
not.
entered the game.
Ooh, and Dynamaxing the Gudra. You drafted Gudra last season as well, right? We saw a lot of Dynamax and Gudra. Ooh, a Psyshock into Gudra. Gudra takes it handily because of the Dynamax, and Max Wormwind goes into Cinccino. Wow, for a good chunk of health, almost down all the way to the red. A couple more attack drops follow on them, following Incineroar's Intimidate. And a Darkest Lariat comes out from Incineroar into... Ooh, Raichu, that's going to be super effective, and pick up the KO from full health.
Nice.
Just imagine Incineroar getting dripped on.
It's like, ooh.
And Dubwool comes back out in its place. That was a really solid first turn. Alright, Cinccino with the triple axle into Gudra, doing a very small amount of damage. For the first hit at least, the damage does build.
It's fine.
Gudra takes it.
40 points on the last hit.
Ooh, a Cotton Guard from Dubwool. Ooh, a drastic defense boost. And a Max Wormwind into the Cinccino to finish it off. Incineroar falls with a Darkest Lariat, which ignores stat changes. Wow, that's a thick dub wool, though. Ooh, and Incineroar takes damage from a Rocky Helmet. Azumarill comes out to replace Cinccino. Cinderaces have their moves locked in. That is one happy Goodra. And one determined Trubbish Rubbish. Who's going for the Dynamax? Oh, I love that Safari Ball. Is that the Azumarill? That is indeed the Azumarill. A reversal comes out from Dubwool into Incineroar for just a minimal amount of damage. And a Max Lightning from Goodra into Azumarill for a good chunk, still in the green but more than a quarter. And puts down some Electric Terrain. Incineroar follows up with a Flare Blitz into Dubwool. Oh, almost takes it down to half. Incineroar takes a hefty chunk of damage, not only from the Rocky Helmet, but from its own Flare Blitz recoil. And Azumarill aims a Max Starfall into Goodra. Whoa! That picks up the KO! And replaces the Electric Terrain with Misty. But down goes Goodra. Corviknight comes out in the place of Goodra. Double opens with the double edge into Incineroar, taking it down to the red, taking a hefty chunk of damage as well from the recoil, but that activates Incineroar's Berry. Restoring its health back into the green with a Figgy Berry. Corviknight falls with a Body Press into Dubwool, ooh, for just a little bit of damage. That Dubwool got some serious defense going for it with that Cotton boost. A Darkest Lariat from Incineroar into Dubwool. Wow, brings it down to the red. Some Rocky Helmet damage. Brings Incineroar to 69. Nice. And then a Max Geyser into the Corviknight. Wow! Knocks it out! Holy cow. Oh, I wonder if the crit was relevant.
It was critical.
It was indeed critical. Cinderaces down to their last two Pokemon. And the last one is Frostlass. 2-on-2 battle. Incineroar in the yellow, Dubwool in the red, Azumarill with a chunk of damage but still in the green, and a fresh Frostlass. Frostlass opens with a Shadow Ball into Azumarill, doesn't do much damage. Dubwool falls with a reversal into Incineroar, picking up the KO! Can Frostlass manage this on its own? Max Geyser comes out for Mazumeryl. And Frostlass hangs on with a Focus Sash. That's the end of Mazumeryl's Dynamax. But Frostlass has one hell of an uphill battle. Azumarill hits it with an Aqua Jet and picks up the KO. That does it for game 1. Trubbish Rubbish wins. 2 Pokemon to 0. But that's just game 1. You got 2 more to go.
So I think we need to investigate that double because I'm pretty sure it's hiding armor under that fur.
It is very likely that it is Fluffy.
What does that mean, Jared?
The ability Fluffy doubles your defenses, but it gives you a weakness to fire.
Weakness to fire. You say doubles?
Doubles.
It
Doubles its defenses, yes.
I will double my double and then double edge. I have found the new mascot of Team Rocket.
Double.
That's what you gotta make it. When you're looking for trouble.
Excuse me, my verbiage was a little incorrect. It doesn't double its defenses. It halves it halves damage taken from direct contact.
From direct contact.
Yeah, direct contact's big. Because, I mean, that could be physical moves, but not all physical moves make direct contact.
Do any special attack moves make direct contact?
Most do not. I'm sure there are exceptions, but I can't think of any. Alright, game 2. Best of luck to both of you.
GLHF.
Alright, Trubbish Rubbish opening Cinccino and Raichu Alola. And this time, Cincinnati Cinderaces opening Dragalge and Incineroar. Incineroar's Intimidate dropping some attacks. And so it begins. Oh, we got a Dynamax right off the bat. Cincinnati Cinderaces opting to Dynamax their Incineroar. And Cinccino opening with a Rock Blast. The Intimidate and the Dynamax coming in big to reduce the damage. Raichu follows with a Psychic into Dragalge for hefty damage, but Dragalge holds on in the red. Incineroar responds with a Max Darkness into Raichu and picks up the KO from full.
Very nice.
Dragalge's Dragon Pulse goes into Cinccino. Wow! And almost picks up the KO as well.
I'm just imagining her.
What battle music did you pick? that one off the top of my head. That must be one of the new DLC songs. Alright, Dubwool comes in to fill the spot of Raichu. Alright, Cinccino goes first with the triple axle. Uh-oh, into Dragalge. 2 hits, picks up the KO. Dubwool follows with a Cotton Guard. Drastically. Ooh, and with a Max Flare into Dubwool, takes out over half its health. Max Flare not dealing direct contact, so its damage isn't halved, but it takes double damage because of Fluffy. Well, double damage from fire. Cinccino with a triple axle into Goodra this time. Woo, 3 hefty hits. Not quite down to half health, though. Dubwool's reversal goes into Incineroar, deals a hefty chunk of damage, but Incineroar is still sitting over half health. Goodra flinches, and then Incineroar finishes off the Dubwool with a second Max Flare in Sunlight. Azumarill comes out from Trubbish Rubbish, and that is the end of Incineroar's Dynamax. Cinderace is still sitting on 3 Pokemon, Trubbish Rubbish down to her last 2. Oh, and Trubbish Rubbish going for the Dynamax. Dynamaxing their Azumarill again. Very successful last time. Cinccino going with a Rock Blast into Incineroar, finally bringing it down to the yellow after the first hit. 3 hits and Incineroar gets its Figgy Berry. 4.
Why? It interrupts the move?
It does. Eating your berry interrupts multi-hit moves, and it probably saved Incineroar's life. Goodra connects a Thunderbolt into Azumarill, does a little bit of damage, less than a quarter. Incineroar falls with a Flare Blitz into Cinccino for the KO. Incineroar takes minimal damage from recoil. But then a Max Starfall into Goodra will finish it off. And set some misty terrain.
I like how the ball catches the Pokemon before it hits the ground.
Very polite of the Pokeball for sure.
Extreme consideration.
Aurorus comes out in the final spot for Cincinnati Cinderaces. 1v2 Incineroar Aurorus versus a Dynamaxed Azumarill.
I don't think I've seen an Aurorus before.
Aurorus is new with the Crown Tundra DLC. Not a new Pokemon. Returning from Gen 6, one of the fossil Pokemon.
Ah.
It is my.
Aurora's charging a Meteor Beam.
It is my 4th favorite Pokemon.
Boost special attack. Activates its power herb. Fires off. for a hefty chunk of damage. Azumarill responds with a Max Geyser into the Auroras, not picking up the KO, and Incineroar in the yellow, Auroras in the red, and Azumarill Dynamaxed but hurtin'. Incineroar uses a Darkest Lariat, knocks Azumarill into the red. Auroras falls with an Icy Beam and picks up the KO. Dynamax Azumarill goes down, and Cincinnati Cinderaces picks up game 2.
Good job.
Very well played.
That adaptation to the double was critical.
It really was. That double soaked a ton of damage that first game, and it couldn't keep up in game 2.
2 hits.
How exciting. Playing all 3 games, a couple of them have gone 2-1, but most of those went 2 games to 1 player, and then the other guy picked up the 3rd game. So it's nice to see a match going into game 3 where each team has 1 battle under their belt and they're actually playing for the win in the final game. All right, both sides locked in. Game 3. Trubbish Rubbish opening Cincino and Dubwool. Cinderaces responding with Incineroar and Auroras. Incineroar's Intimidate, passing out some attack drops. So confident.
Do I want it dead? No, I want it extra dead. I saw you pick that Flare Blitz and you were like, no. No, double.
Flare Blitz isn't enough. We're going to have to Dynamax the Incineroar.
Just too fluffy.
It was a lot of fun watching the wheels turn.
Extreme prejudice.
Cinchino goes to the Bullet Seed into Auroras. Oh, that's a little bit of damage. Only 2 times, though.
2.
Dubwool with a Cotton Guard. And Incineroar with a Max Flare into the Dubwool for over half its health. Setting Sunlight. Aurorus falls with an Ice Beam, also into Dubwool, picking up the KO. Dubwool does not get more than one turn.
That was perfect timing.
I don't know what it was, but I stopped it.
All I heard was do 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 do. Dead.
Azumarill comes in to fill out for Dubwool.
That Incineroar is flexing.
He has a right to. He hits hard.
He seems to be legit stuck in come at me bro status.
Incineroar is come at me bro status. Wasting no time this time. Trubbish Rubbish going straight for the Dynamax. Okay. A Rock Blast from Shinshino into Aurorus. Ooh, that's a good amount of damage. Only 2 hits again, though. That's unfortunate. Incineroar with a Max Strike into the Azumarill. Ugh, for negligible damage. But a speed drop to both of her mons. Aurora's charging in a Meteor Beam. Boost the special attack. Consume the Power Herb. Fire away. Azumarill comes down to less than half health. Azumarill responds with a Max Geyser into the Incineroar for less than half of its health. Sunlight deflecting a lot of that damage, but Sunlight being replaced with the Rain. Cinchino opens with a Bullet Seed into Aurorus. Woo, for a crit! Three. Stops at 3. A 4th would have picked up the KO. That's huge. Incineroar with a Max Darkness into Cinchino picks up the KO. It won't be doing any of those multi-hit attacks anymore. Aurorus with an Ice Beam into Azumarill does a chunk of damage despite being not very effective. Azumarill responds with a Max Geyser into Incineroar, and that's going to pick up the KO. Incineroar goes down.
The Pokeball did not catch Incineroar before he fell. Poor guy.
Did you ever play Pokemon Stadium? There's one animation that sticks out in my mind. It's when Nidoking faints. It literally flips forward onto its back.
Flips forward onto its back?
Raichu comes out to fill out for Trubbish Rubbish, and Dragalge comes out for Cincinnati Cinderaces. 3 Pokemon remaining for the Cinderaces. The final 2 for Trubbish Rubbish. Trubbish Rubbish making sure she's got the right moves she wants. Opposing Raichu opens with the Psychic into the Auroras to pick up the KO. Dragalge with a Sludge Bomb into Azumarill knocks it out! Dynamax Azumarill goes down. And Cincinnati Cinderaces sends out their final Pokemon, Goodra. Dragalge and Goodra versus Alolan Raichu. Game 3, 1 game apiece. It all comes down to this. Raichu strikes first with a Psychic into Dragalge for a hefty chunk of damage. Dragalge down into the yellow. Goodra responds with a Dragon Pulse for half of Raichu's health. Dragalge with the risky Hydro Pump lands it and knocks it out. And there is your match. 2-1 to Cincinnati Cinderaces. What a set.